Hey, this is Prag with Digital Life and iRepair MD, and today I'm going to show you guys how to replace a cracked screen on an iPhone 6s. What you see in front of you is actually my phone. I dropped it in the parking lot, and my leather case did not protect it that well. And at the same time, I was somewhat excited that it cracked at the same time. So what we have here is a working screen. You can see the digitizer all worked. And what you're going to need for this one, I will do the glass only repair, but for this session here, I'm going to show you how to do the LCD repair. And you see this is a complete LCD along with the 3D touch sensor. And you can purchase this from the link below. Tools that you're going to need for this is a penelope screwdriver and a standard Phillips screwdriver. Okay, so the prices on these at the time I bought this was $156 for the 6S screen, and prices should be dropping in the next few weeks. Alright, let's go ahead and go with the repair. First thing you need to do in all repair is make sure that the phone is turned off before you open the case. Let's go ahead and shut the phone off, and with the penelope, go ahead and access the bottom of it. Okay. These screws are extremely small, so make sure you put it in a safe place. All right. Now that the penelope is done, we no longer need a penelope. From here onward, you'll need just the Phillips. This now with a razor blade, just go ahead and get the corner, the bottom corner right here. Once you get one lifted out, go ahead and use. You can either use a pry tool, but I always use my fingernails. The 6S is a little harder to remove because it's rumored to be actually a moisture seal, and I actually feel that this definitely is a water resistant material around this frame of the 6S. You can see the adhesive sticking up right here. Okay. Seal's done completely hard on here. Slowly lift it up. Okay, so now what you have, first thing you need to do is just disable the battery. Just go ahead and use a Phillips screwdriver. And we're going to disable the battery. Okay. It's always good to have a magnetized screwdriver. These screws are really small. Okay, remove the plate. Now let's go ahead and disengage the battery from here. Alright, now the battery is disengaged. Go ahead and open the battery cover. And then this is the LCD cover. There's an additional ribbon cable connector for the 3D touch that we have to account for. Okay, so alright, now what you have are the touch screen, the flex cable fingerprint reader, this is the digitizer, and then what? So now just slowly lift this out. Okay, and unlike the other version of the iPhone, you actually see there are double-sided adhesive around this particular phone. That is a moisture seal to make it waterproof. Okay, let's go ahead and test this screen out. When you buy a phone or a new LCD from Amazon or eBay, just make sure before you take all the protector off, you make sure you test the screen first to make sure it works. Alright, so let's go ahead and power it up. Put the battery in place. Now power up the phone to make sure it works. Alright. So we know the LCD is working. Now what we need to check on is by running your finger from left to right throughout the top to the bottom of the screen, you're testing whether all the touch points are working. And all the touch points are working. Let's go ahead and turn off the phone again. So we have a working LCD. Right, once the phone is turned off, go ahead and disengage the battery again. So that way you don't cause internal damage to the system. Okay, disable the connector. Okay, now put the phone out of play. Now, the second half of this is we have to transfer all the component from the old one, the old cracked screen, to the new one. So let's go ahead and transfer the plate. What we need to do first is to go ahead and remove the sticker seal. And this is a 3D touch plate right here. And there's another plate on top of it. So with the Phillips screwdriver, go ahead and remove the side. Right here. So removing the top plate off, the shielding, the metal shielding. I'll take it on the other side. Okay. Metal shielding here. Alright. So now the plate comes off. Now let's go ahead and concentrate on the home button. Okay. With these home buttons, they are actually paired to the particular phone. So if you rip this home button and it's flex, what you'll need to do is actually you won't be able to buy a new home button and have it replaced because the fingerprint reader is it's paired to the actual motherboard. Okay, now that we have that removed, lift it off carefully. That's the home button right here. Let's move on up to the earpiece. Okay. Take the earpiece screwdriver off. Okay. I'll carefully remove this. There's a little adhesive here holding it in place. Okay, so what we're lifting now will be the plate here. Let's go ahead and lift it up. There's one more screw on the side right here. Okay. Now let's slowly lift the plate up. Okay. Right, what we need to lift up slowly, the adhesive right here. Let's go ahead and lower the adhesive that's guarding this. Okay, there's an adhesive tape right here holding it. Free the adhesive tape. And now the plate should be transferable. Okay. So this is the plate that we want out. We'll go ahead and put the plate on the new one. Okay. Now with the screwdriver, let's go ahead and replace the screw onto the new screen. There are 6 screws holding it. Okay. It's good to just put one component at a time and not try to rush yourself through this. These screws are paired. They're made for a certain area of the phone. So if you pair the screw, you'll either have it too short or too long, and then it might not fit properly in the body of the phone again when you replace it. Okay, so now you have that done right here. And what you're going to see is, if you look at here, the flex cable connector underneath engages right here. So what we need is just simply remove this to transfer over the connector. And this is a connector piece for the fingerprint reader and the home button. Just pop it open like that, and then slowly just lift it up. Okay, add a little pressure on the other side to remove the seal without breaking the rubber. Just add light pressure like that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and transfer that to this side. Okay. Lift this up a little bit. Now let's go ahead and place it in with double-sided adhesive. And now fasten the connector back in like that. Now let's go ahead and replace the home button on it. So the home button's right here. Let's go ahead and replace the screws. Alright, so now let's go put the screw with the home button. go ahead and transfer this component onto here. Okay, so you see the double-sided adhesive here. What we need to do is go ahead and free it from this. Connect to here. So now that that's freed, you have all these connectors here. Okay, you run this underneath. So you have that already done. Let's go ahead and transfer the component. You got the home button done, you got the back plate. Now we have to transfer the component from the top, which is the camera and the speaker, onto this. And let's go ahead and carefully transfer the camera over. Alright, so what you have here is the speaker. Slowly move out. And now you got the camera, which is part of the component here. And the camera here has a flex, has a proximity sensor and a voice cancellation microphone. Let's go ahead and free the voice cancellation microphone from the well. Okay. So what you need to free, there's a tape right here. So you need to carefully pull this out without damaging the headphone. Now once you pull it out, you got the proximity sensor and the voice cancellation mic underneath. Alright, so just be very careful when you pull it out. It can easily be damaged. Slowly pull it out, and there you go. You got the voice cancellation mic already out. Okay. On the previous phone. Take that out of the way. Okay, so now let's go ahead and remove the double-sided adhesive that's meant to hold to the voice cancellation mic. Alright. Place the voice cancellation mic in the same slot right here. Alright, now you got that in to that slot. Let's go ahead and replace the proximity sensor. Proximity sensor goes in this slot right here, nestle done properly. Okay, like so. Now you have that already in place. Let's go ahead and put the earpiece speaker in. Got the little notch hole here into that well. Okay, once you get that in nice and secure, go ahead and bring in the speaker and the connector for the speaker. Alright. And there's a little notch up here. You can see it. Just go ahead and place it in carefully. I'm going to zoom in a little closer so you can see what I'm talking about. Alright. So what we want to make sure is that these connectors are touching each other. There's a spring connector on the other side, and these are the flat connectors. Once you get that in, go ahead and put the brackets in to lock it in place. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put the bracket into place. Make sure all the pins are in and are aligned. Okay, now let's go ahead and replace the screwdriver. Okay. Put the Phillips screwdriver in here. Okay. Now use the other Phillip to fasten that. Then you got another Phillip. Once all that is secured, see what you have here. Then, okay, so now Let's go ahead and put the side screw right here in place. Pretty hard to focus, but here you go. Once all that's in place, we're ready to go ahead and put the screen back onto the phone. Okay, so now we have screen back in. What we need to do is again go ahead and put all the connectors back in. We can go ahead and put the camera connector back, the flex connector, the LCD, the 3D touch, and the touch screen connector. Just make sure it all lined up. Then you should hear a little snap, a little click to make sure it falls into place. There you go. And that is the home button connector along with 3D touch. Let's go ahead and power it up. Let's go ahead and test it before we put all the screws back in. Put the power button on here. Okay, unlock it. Okay, so now let's go ahead and test the touch sensor. There you go, touch does work. There you go, see, so now everything here seems to work fine. So what we need to do is go ahead and put all the plates back on. I'm going to start with the LCD plate here. Alright, LCD plate uses all Penelope, correction, all Phillips. Okay. Always a good idea to have a magnetic screwdriver. The one that you see I'm using is the one that came with the screen itself. So most manufacturer will include the screws. If you order from me with the link below, I will also include the screw. Alright, let's put the final screws on here for the top connector. Now let's go ahead and work on the battery plate back on. Okay, so now we're putting the battery plate on. Okay, let's go ahead and put the other screw into place. Alright, so let's go ahead and slide it back into place. Stop at the top, make sure everything is nice and flush. Run it all the way down till you hear a clip. Alright, so let's go ahead and make sure everything is nice and flush. Okay, like so. Now let's go ahead and put the Penelope screw back in. Penelope back into place. Second Penelope. Okay. Peel this off. Now we have a brand new iPhone, and it's always good to test the camera. This is the forward facing camera, and this is the FaceTime camera, and everything works. Calls have been received. So this, and stick around next week where we are going to actually do a full rebuild, doing a glass replacement only method for the iPhone 6s. Till then, subscribe or like. Subscribe with Digital Life and iRepair MD. Safe repair.